Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on Gameday. Pour me in, coach. Ed Morse Sawgrass Buick GMC is a proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. Remember, you're always backed by Morse. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
Morning! How's everybody doing out there? Game day uncensored. Hope everybody rolled their clocks back. I know the oven freaked me out this morning. Thought it was going to be late.
It was a microwave for me.
Yep, that too. Which also just seems it's right there. It's right there. It's overkill. Why do I need two clocks to both screw me up there? You know, I should always look at the phone first. Stroll into the kitchen.
You still use your oven and microwave.
Yours
clocks?
Just blinks.
Yeah, what does yours do? You just leave it on an incorrect time?
Yeah, I mean, I have a stupid Amazon Alexa, whatever the hell it's called. I have my phone, I have my Apple Watch, I have my computer.
You're all logged into the matrix.
Yeah, huh? I mean, yeah. I'm allowing home appliances to keep me on schedule.
Man, you have the crust in your eyes, and I was like, oh no, I need to go. And then I was like, oh no, I'm very early. I'm like, okay. We're good to go, and everybody's good to go, man. We got a little Dolphins action from Germany today. Dolphins and Chiefs. Very, very exciting matchup. You are taking on the defending Super Bowl champs. You got Cheetah against his former club. You're both 6-2. This is all the makings of a monster matchup, Omar. It's got everything to it. How excited are you for this one?
I'm excited because it's a phenomenal game. The two top offenses in the NFL. The two front runners for the MVP honors, probably two candidates for Coach of the Year. This game will have major ramifications. It's not a must-win game, but it's a game with a ton of stakes involved. And more than likely, if the Dolphins win, they have a good chance of owning and maintaining home field advantage and maybe the first round bye in the AFC game, which will be critical to the championship game. If they lose, they'll probably have a ton of work to do to even get into that equation, but should mostly focus on the AFC East.
It's like the perfect crescendo before the bye week. You have this big time matchup with all the drama around it. It's early in the morning. We're getting football going right off the bat here. First thing, 9:30 kickoff for us here in South Florida. Your Goosey's level are at what?
Oh, how do you say 100 in German?
Goosey Supreme.
Boom. Chicken Schnitzel Supreme times 30. Here's the thing. I don't want to do, because you mentioned the bye week, I don't want to do 2 weeks now of Dolphin fan freaking out that they can't beat a good team.
Like, just your selfish radio.
Exactly. Throw everything else out the window. Number one in the AFC, Tua versus Mahomes. Like, they can't beat a good team. All the stupid narratives.
Stupid narratives. You live by those.
No, I don't actually. Like, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this.
I thank you for your honesty and transparency. He hasn't gotten there yet.
Narratives. I got very mad at Mike McDaniel this week trying to kill narratives. I'm like,
oh, come on. You know that's how he rolls.
No. Nice try by him.
It's the truth what he said. What?
It's the truth when you want to try and, like, he's trying to rabbit me. He's trying to take it away before I get to let me feel how I want to feel, Mike McDaniel. Don't take away the stakes of the game.
Don't give me a full 2 weeks where all we're doing is talking about Dolphins can't beat a good team. Dolphins can't beat a good team. They can be bad teams, but they can't beat a good team. I dread it.
Might be the truth. It might be the truth. And is there any shame in that?
Or they haven't played a good team at home yet, and
still haven't played a good team at home yet.
And they've lost. And that's it.
But this will be on a neutral field.
Correct.
You got some of your horses back.
Oh,
I would argue to you 3 of the top 10 players on the team. And I might, if you really want me to stack it up, I might say some of those 3 are in the top 5, at least 2 of them.
Yes.
And I could argue one might be number 6 or 7 in terms of talent on your team. I love these men. You know how I come in here every week, especially against the big dogs when it's the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles. What did I tell you guys? I said, bad matchups. You're not going to like these matchups, and it likely will lead to losses, especially on the road. This game, you getting your horses back, the matchups I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at a win.
Saddle up.
I like that. What are the things, like, is there one particular, like, you're getting reinforcements on the line with Teron Armstead, Connor Williams come
hold
back.
on. Don't just reinforcements on the line with Teron Armstead.
You are.
You saw Teron Armstead on that field for
Mhm.
his very first game against the Denver Broncos, and what was the outcome?
70.
He was running 20 yards downfield, mowing MFers down.
He was great.
Okay. Didn't last.
Nope.
It didn't last. I will acknowledge it.
Not
I will
his fault,
own it.
though.
It didn't last. He took a ride on the Eichenberg Express.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Got derailed.
Sometimes you need to get into a part of the ride that has, like, for extra size. Like, they just put him in a standard seat
Yeah.
on the Eichenberg Express.
He needs to sit in the back row of the Eichenberg Express. And the season got derailed. But when you had Connor Williams and Teron Armstead on the field, wasn't the last time, but for a full game, you did what? You denied the right to set an NFL record in scoring because you said, we're going to have mercy.
Yeah,
We're going to
they
be
were classy.
We're going to be Mike the Merciful. And this is a situation where Teron is that dude. You've seen the difference between Connor Williams and you've seen the Eichenberg Express. Then we got Jalen Ramsey out there playing in his second game. Oh, what did he do in his first game? Just an interception and a forced fumble.
He's awesome.
Probably at 70% too.
I know. It's he's a marvel, and now we finally get the dream team together. We have not seen what this looks like with him and Xavien Howard on the field together. Finally, everything slides into place. Again, Fangs with a pep in his step this week. He had some schnitzel, and he's got his DBs back.
Listen, and Xavien has been waiting for this moment. Mike McDaniel has locked him in a cage for 2 weeks, saying that, you know what? We don't need you for now. We need you for when it matters. Now, I'm not certain. I'm not 100% positive that he's going to be allowed to play. I think it's going to be crazy if Mike McDaniel holds him out because he's got the bye week the very next week if you suffer a setback. And hell, you could sit out Vegas if you want. You could sit out whatever comes after Vegas because, you know, guys, I only go one game at a time.
Jets.
Is it Jets?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
Black Friday. Oh, you could sit out Jets. Come
Okay.
on. A bunch of bums.
You could sit out.
You're just poking at Vlad. That's all.
I was waiting for a Vlad response, but then I realized where I was. You could rest him, let him test the groin. If he says it's not there, he will pull it back. Trust him, Mike. You say you trust him. Come on, you know he wants to play.
Oh, he's playing today. There is no way. Look at. I was thinking about this. Are the Dolphins, because we know what Mike McDaniel is going to say publicly, right? But the Dolphins as a team, fly on the wall. If you could hear them talking in that locker room with nobody else around, do they actually care as much about this game as the fan base does? Like, we're putting our eggs in one basket here. This game matters. Like, I think so. The way it seems, like,
I think it matters because their best player matters to him. He's been talking about this game since July.
Correct.
Like, there's no way you don't put extra stakes on it if your second best player or best player, wherever you want to put Tyreek Hill, has been talking about beating his
best.
Yeah.
Who in the world would name him their second best? Anyway, go ahead.
Either him or Tua, whatever. But he's been talking about beating his former team since the summer. He wanted this to be in Arrowhead. Supposedly the Chiefs didn't want even this game to be at Arrowhead because they didn't want the response for him.
Yeah.
And now you get that opportunity. Yeah, it's going to matter a lot to him because they know, like, that the Cheetah is as competitive as they come. They want to get this game for him.
And they're all trying to be healthy for this game. Everybody is trying to be healthy. Omar.
No.
Teron Armstead
Mike
doesn't
McDaniel
have to.
is focused on February.
That's fine.
He is. He talked this week about elimination games. That's when he's ready. This is not. Unfortunately, we cannot say this is an elimination game.
No, for sure it isn't. But the way that Teron Armstead hasn't played since Denver, and he could very easily say, "Hey, it's probably beneficial for my body to take this week off, use the extra bye week, get 2 extra weeks, and get ready for that home run stretch where games matter."
They've also had this talk now, and I get it. Like, you want to talk about it's the process of, getting yourself ready for elimination games, and that they took the Eagles' loss a lot better than they have, and they took it on the chin against the Bills, your division rival. And okay, we're not worried about that. But okay, now you've had 2 of those. Like, when do we get to see what that development looks like? Because you do have your horses back. You do have, basically everybody other than like Robert Hunt and Devon Achane back. There's going to be a significant. Who?
Don't underestimate the loss of Robert Hunt and Isaiah Wynn. I mean, even though you got Connor Williams in there and Teron Armstead out there at
I'm not
left tackle.
underestimating it, but it's as healthy as they've been in a long time
right now.
And I've heard their process, this whole thing about, we talking about a process of the playoffs and all that. It's like, okay, you've had your process. You've
lost two interior guards, 2 very valuable starters on your offensive line. What are you talking about? This is the healthiest they've been.
It's the healthiest they've been. You would argue that getting back Xavien Howard, Teron Armstead, your starting center, and losing a regular, this is not the healthiest they've been in a long time. That would be like, of course they are. It's not even a debate.
You know when they were healthy? Denver.
I understand. That was for going week by week. You've been going back to that Denver game a lot this morning.
Denver.
Who would you rather have, though? If you had to pick offensive linemen to be healthy, I'm not diminishing Isaiah Wynn or Kendall Lamb or Robert Hunt. Love those guys. Genuinely do. But if you told me Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, and Austin Jackson are all going to be available, I'd say, let's go. Like,
okay.
no excuses. Let's go.
But you're facing Chris Jones, the biggest, baddest, most physical defensive lineman. I turned on my Hulk Hogan. In the NFL.
He's not tough. Couldn't even hold out for more than a week.
Wow.
No, he's not tough. You sat there. You did your
how many $1 million in fine? Was it like $1 million in fine?
I know. Couldn't even hold out. He said he was going to hold out till week 8. He said he was going to miss.
That might have been the strongest holdout I've ever seen.
It was. I mean, what? Like the damage is done. What a dummy. I mean, you go out there like you want to hold out. You hold out like Christian Wilkins. You show up for work. You don't get fined. This guy's out there. He's making a show of it, a spectacle. When they're getting their Super Bowl rings, he goes, "Nah, I'll come back the next week." What the whole? So you lost $1 million for nothing, dummy. Not tough.
I can't argue with that. There's a lot of validity there. You should. I said the same thing with Connor Williams. You just gave them $97,000.
Makes no sense.
For what? You could have just skipped the first day and then showed up for work and then talk about why you skipped the first day and get yourself double the headlines.
See what I'm saying, dude?
I mean, these guys, we might need to talk about getting a representation agency
Chris
together.
Jones. Now he is scary. I'm not gonna lie, but not
against a guard starting his third NFL game.
I'm not saying it's not going to be an obstacle to overcome. I'm just saying it's the healthiest they've been. This is not up for debate. They have their starting secondary back. They got Javon Holland back. They're going to have their 2 starting corners back. No more Eli Apple. No more.
Oh, no. Don't say that. You might get a little Eli Apple today because I want Jaylen Ramsey shadowing star player Travis Kelce.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. He's done it. He's done it with the Rams. He's done it in his career. I want Jaylen Ramsey one-on-one with Travis Kelce all game. Or if you can't give it to me all game, give it to me third down. Give it to me third down in red zone.
A little sprinkle of it.
And then put Eli Apple out there on the boundary. And what are your other options?
Kader Kohu?
No, Kader Kohu's going to be in the nickel. You still got a nickel defense. You still got a slot receiver to defend.
All right, well, I'll just celebrate less Eli Apple then. We'll take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Of course, the big-time matchup is Tyreek Hill taking on his former club. We will hear from the parties that be about that. The Cheetah, Andy Reid, Mike McDaniel on this showdown of the Cheetah against his former squad as Game Day Uncensored rolls on after this.
Game Day Uncensored on AM 560 Sports. WQAM is sponsored by
South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade
WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Welcome back into Game Day Uncensored, everybody. Brendan Tobin here with you alongside Omar Kelly, Alejandro Solana, taking you up until the Dolphins' Week 9 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs from Frankfurt, Germany. Dolphins, they spent all week there. Chiefs, they got in late.
Eating schnitzel,
some brats, some beer, walking around town.
Schnitzel, bistec empanizado, same thing. Can't even tell the difference. David Fiorina has been
It does
posting,
look like the same thing.
He's been posting him eating chicken schnitzel, veal schnitzel, whatever the hell's in the schnitzel. And I'm like,
is chicken in the schnitzel?
you could just do chicken schnitzel, right? I'm sure you could do chicken schnitzel, but whatever. And I text him like, bro, you're at La Carreta on Bird Road. Come on, no, you're not fooling
What was
anybody.
on the side? Do they do fries on the side? Or
No,
they do rice?
they do like potatoes. These like
you're at a diner?
yeah, almost like
home
that.
fries?
No, not home fries. They're I don't know, like a Hasselback potato maybe, and just like pieces of potato. Oven baked potato.
Hasselback potato. I only know
Hasselback potato.
the actor Hasselback. What is a Hasselback potato?
Hasselhoff. You're thinking of the
okay.
quarterback.
Yeah, Tim
my
Hasselback.
bad.
Tim Hasselbeck, who was on the Canes broadcast
Yeah.
last night. Oof. Whew. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you there.
Let
you
us get to some keys to the game, which is brought to us by Ed Morse. Ed Morse Sawgrass Chevrolet is your lease return headquarters. Click edmorsesawgrasschevrolet.com to see how you're backed by Morse when it comes to returning your lease. Ed Morse is a proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. Of course, the big key in this game is Tyreek Hill, as he is taking on his former club for the first time since that blessed trade. Oh, that trade.
The trade that keeps on giving.
Maybe the greatest trade in Dolphins history. I mean, is anything even close?
Arguably, it's up there.
It's up there. It's up there. I mean, he is amazing. He is 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards in 8 games.
It's definitely the best trade in Dolphins history. I mean, unless they traded for like Garo Yepremian, and I just wasn't alive for it. But if we're talking at least my lifetime, Tobin, your lifetime.
I mean, Ricky is close.
Yeah, damn.
Don Shula? Come on, anybody realize that they traded for Don Shula? The greatest coach of all time.
They traded for Don Shula.
Yeah,
Then I'm going to go with me and Solana's lifetime. Then.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
in our lifetime.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
That's the problem, right? Like I appreciate the 72 team, but I truthfully don't remember
Don't you preaching to the choir, brother.
Like
I
I'm
get
sorry.
into that
sorry.
I get into that all the time with members of the 72 team.
Very sorry.
Who are on me about, you don't know how great we were. I'm like, I wasn't alive.
I know how great a tweeter Larry Zonka is.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
But let's get into this trade for Tyreek Hill. And my major, I had a good chuckle when Clark Hunt, the CEO of the Chiefs, basically came out and said, "Hey, both teams won in this trade here," and I was like, "Huh? You traded away an MVP candidate, a guy who's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, all because you didn't want to make him the highest paid receiver in the league." I get it. The position was drastically getting overpaid that offseason. Tyreek needed a new deal. You didn't want to pay it. You just decided he wasn't worth it. And what you did is you got Trent McDuffie, Sky Moore, Darian Kennard, Rashee Rice, Keandre Coburn, and a 5th-round pick in 2025. And the Miami Dolphins got a guy who's on pace for 2,000 yards.
Yep.
And is the straw that stirs the drink for this offense.
And the most exciting thing in the sport right now. Like
Yeah.
him and Tua, the bombs that they throw to each other. What do they have? Twice as many 40-yard plays as anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, look, the Chiefs will always be able to hold up that they won a Super Bowl, and I get it. Good for you. But then
they did without Tyreek.
Yeah, with it. But the thing that I hear about the Chiefs, because I have friends who are Chiefs fans, and the thing I hear about them complaining every week is, "Oh, receivers can't catch the football."
Yeah,
I'm like, well, crazy.
I mean,
well, that's what's going to happen when you're coupon clipping on your receivers. I don't know what to tell you.
Hardman, they traded for him, got him back from the Jets bench just because he could help us.
Yeah,
and it's desperation time. But I mean, I do have confidence in Patrick Mahomes. No matter if they don't make a single move or a single wide receiver gets better, they're still Super Bowl contenders with that receiving core.
Of course, he's a monster.
So we can't shade them, but to say everybody won on this trade,
but it's one of those things where like I can't believe somebody let this guy walk. Like that's basically the way I feel. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe you guys didn't want to keep this guy. He is amazing. He's amazing.
They probably also had a little bit of an issue with the lying or the attention seeking, and
but who cares? Like,
I don't care. We don't care.
Really, does it matter if you're winning?
So they didn't want the attention seeking, but their tight end is dating the biggest star on the planet.
Right.
Touche on your part.
Just saying.
Touche. I mean, hey, she's selling tickets and merchandise.
Is he more famous for being a podcaster right now, or is he more famous for being a football player? I'm just curious. I don't know.
He's more famous for being somebody's boyfriend. Also, you don't want attention seeking? How about you tell Mahomes' brother to stay away from the damn stadium, or Mahomes' wife to stop posting TikToks at every damn game? Like, enough with the they didn't want the attention.
It's okay
seeking.
as
They
long
didn't
as your players don't do it.
They didn't want to pay Mahomes. I mean, they didn't want to pay Tyreek Hill because they thought they could go win without him. And guess what? They did.
Mhm.
But now they're suffering without Tyreek Hill.
Are they really suffering?
I think they're suffering a little bit.
Are they really? Because
It's been a grind.
when you look at their ending stretch of the season, oh my God, it's like literally laughable in terms of what they have to go through. They got Miami, and then up next after the bye, which they got to bye just like the Dolphins, they got the Philadelphia Eagles, who they are hosting. Then they got Vegas, Green Bay. Then they're hosting Buffalo, another tough game. Then they got New England, Vegas again, Cincinnati, who they just so happen to be hosting again. Then they got, at the Rams. Then they got New Orleans. Then they got Arizona. Then they finish the season with Cleveland. So all of their tough games, what do they just so happen to be doing? Hosting them. And
usually not supposed to work. I thought it was supposed to be harder for the champs.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is going to be a cakewalk for them to finish this season. Let's just say they stumble their toe and lose two of these games that they're hosting. Let's just say Cincinnati gets them and Buffalo gets them. Hell, let's throw it on. Let's say 3 teams get them. Let's say Philadelphia gets them. All of these games that they just so happen to be hosting. So what are we looking at record wise? We're looking at a 12-5 team, and that's the lowest that we can ultimately expect this team until they let's say they suffer some injuries. Now I'm gonna flip the coin on the Dolphins, and let's just say they win this game. Even if they win this game, getting to 12-5, not a cakewalk. Going to be an arduous challenge, especially the finishing stretch of the season where you got Dallas, you got Buffalo. There's another tough opponent in there.
Baltimore on the road.
Baltimore on the road. And that's going to be a murderous road. I can promise you nobody's going to finish the season harder than the Dolphins.
It's a tough ending. I mean, they're going to have a fatten up part after the bye that they gotta get right with for sure. But that does add to like the significance of what this matchup is going to be for sure. Let's hear from Tyreek Hill. This was him this week. This is technically a road game for the Dolphins. This is supposed to be at Arrowhead before they made it an international game. And Tyreek Hill had mentioned he was upset originally that this was not going to be in Kansas City instead of Frankfurt. But here's what he had to say on it being in Germany instead of KC.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where we play at. I mean, obviously, it would have been great to play in KC, but it really doesn't matter where we play at. You feel me? They're going to get this work wherever, though. Look, y'all already used that. Bulletin board material.
Oh, I love it.
And him saying he wants to pancake Chris Jones. I'm like, if Mike McDaniel even puts him in the area of Chris Jones, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Like, because he's going to try. And Chris Jones is going to send him into the next century.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah? You believe in?
It'd be great if like he was able to deke Chris Jones into some kind of penalty. Like he just goes too hard at him and then like he just flops.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Chris Jones gets kicked out of the game. That would be amazing.
Just a little bait.
Yep, little bait.
Just
because he did say this week, he says Cheetah talks too much.
Yeah.
He said Cheetah talks too much.
He's right.
He's telling the truth.
What do you mean?
He's
What do you mean
right.
that's right?
He's a little right.
He doesn't talk too much. He
He's a little right.
Talks the appropriate amount.
Cheetah does talk a little too
If
much.
you put
We like that though. We like it. We like
If you
it.
put
love
up
it.
1,000 yards in 8 games, you can talk as much as you want.
I agree.
Absolutely.
A
can talk.
1,000
agree.
yards in
Yeah.
8 games.
I'm not hating on Cheetah. I'm just saying he probably does. He's going. He makes that statement. You can get this work wherever.
Yeah.
Like you're okay with it because it's Cheetah. But
Of course.
Hold on. You're not confident from what's supposed Jimmy Butler says it. You'd actually like him to be doing it on the court too.
I mean, hold on a second. Jimmy Butler's led this team to 3 Eastern Conference Finals and two NBA Finals.
I would say they're both allowed to talk.
Dolphins
they both have
Dolphins
pretty great credentials.
haven't won a damn playoff game in 23 years, Omar. 22 years, whatever the hell.
Don't mean you can't get this work.
All right.
I love the fact that this is exactly what I love about having him on this side, Jalen Ramsey on the other side. Like you have the 2 best trash talkers in the league, and they both back it up. All right. It's not like Freddie Mitchell back in the day for like the Eagles. It's like you have bona fide all pros who can talk the talk because they walk the walk. That's what I love about having the bravado on this team. I'm a huge fan of this. I love the fact that Tyreek Hill, that's exactly what he said coming here last year with Tua, where he was making everybody insane because he was comparing him to Patrick Mahomes and saying he was the most accurate quarterback. And now I love the fact that this is the game he's had circled on his calendar ever since he knew they're going to face the Chiefs, and allow him to peacock. He should be allowed to 1,000 yards in 8 games.
I promise you he gives the pregame speech. I promise you he gives Tua a pep talk. I said before anybody ever saw you play with me that you were the most accurate quarterback that I've ever played with.
Mhm.
I know your talent level. You're better than this dude. Go show them.
Yes, he should.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can you imagine Tyreek giving this pregame speech? Oh, that's a Goosey's galore moment for me.
Yeah, dude. And I'll tell you another thing too. You want to know how he's a whopper teller. He tells lies.
Yes, he does.
This whole I'm not getting fined anymore, lie. That was a deke last week. That was a save up for this. Whatever he's got planned. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's got lederhosen under his jersey. I don't know what he's got, but he's got something. He's got something for the Chiefs in a celebration.
But why does a celebration have to bring a fine? But I hear what you're saying.
Why?
I haven't
does.
given it any thought, and I think you have a lot of validity to your claims here.
Yeah,
there is a massive season-long preparation that you have done, saving this celebration for this game.
He may have already engraved a Dolphins Super Bowl ring and has it ready to be unveiled. I don't know what he has, but he's got something for the Chiefs. He's got something for the Chiefs.
Pulls out a pretzel.
Hey,
from somewhere.
I don't know. He's got something for the Chiefs.
He might pull out his Chiefs Super Bowl ring.
He might give it back.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be good.
That would be good.
Just go hand it to Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he's got, but when he said I don't have any celebration,
jock strap.
Yeah.
Then go hand it to Andy Reid and just drop it.
I have when I listen to Tyreek Hill, I'll just be like, lie. And like when he was like, I don't want the NFL taking my money, I'm lie.
You're right.
Lie.
You're right.
He's gonna do something else. Trust me.
You're 1,000% right. He is a liar.
Take a quick break. Back after this.
Listen to WQAM for Cat Talk. live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
All right, welcome back, you rascals. Game Day Uncensored rolls on here.
Have you had your coffee yet?
Oh, dude, right out of the chute today, of course.
I'm not talking about you. I'm
Oh.
talking about the listeners. Breakfast? What time are you going to sit down with your eggs? Right
Kegs
at
and
kickoff?
eggs. Kegs and eggs, baby. Give me a brewski.
Go,
Are you really drinking at 9:30 in the morning?
football?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the rules change.
Talking about
If
Omar.
it's different for them, it's different for us.
Are you not you're not drinking?
I see. You got to understand. I would fundamentally be opposed to drinking during watching football.
I'm fundamentally opposed to
Even when
you
you're
being a fundamentally opposed of not drinking this morning.
You've watched so much Dolphins. Like, if you're not boots on the ground and you're not like covering the locker room, why
Yeah.
not? I mean, what, you can't pod afterwards with a little toasty?
It's just I've been in the media game so long. It's just
Yeah.
foreign for
Well,
me.
back in the
Like,
day, they used to
I
drink
know
in
they
the
did.
broadcast booth.
They actually drank that. We had beers at the very end of our media work day. Back in the Harvey Green. Shout out to Harvey Green. And that had to end when we became all politically correct. and,
Yeah,
you know,
these guys were telling me, like, on the road, they used to walk onto the plane.
Yeah.
They'd hand them beer. Like, it was just normal. In the press box after working, there was beers for
Who
everybody.
cares? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why can't there be? So
'Cause-
silly.
I'm with you. Like, I would love to just be smoking a cigarette right now, drinking a whiskey, doing this like we're in Mad Men. I
would it-
swear,
would
like,
it-
that's
would it
my
really
goal.
be a cigarette? I'm just asking.
Let's get to this. So we alluded to it a little bit earlier on in the program, but of course, this is a big one for the Dolphins because, you know, they've had some matchups against some winning teams. They've lost them both. This one's against the defending Super Bowl champs, Mike McDaniel. He wants to debunk all narratives. He hates narratives. Here's the Dolphins head coach.
There are a bunch of narratives that occur, whether you win or you lose. I'll tell you what's going to happen with the Miami Dolphins. They lose. We can't beat good teams. We win. We're going to win the Super Bowl. None of it matters. You have to be your best when your best is required. And that's when there's elimination games. So you're trying to build towards that and take advantage of every opportunity to best service yourself for the situation at the end of the season. So, there's a lot made up of each and every game. Quite literally, this is 1/17 of the season. That's how important it is. If it was Major League Baseball, it'd be 10 games. That would be 5 games in the NBA. But at the same time, let's say, for instance, we were able to beat the Chiefs and had the best game of our year this week. What does that mean? It means we're 7-2. That's all. Does 7 wins get you into the playoffs? Probably not. Does it matter if you climax right now and go, cool regular season win? So it's very important, but at the same time, the biggest thing is you're progressing during the season. So when push comes to shove and it's win or go home, which inevitably you're either trying to make the playoffs. At some point, it's an elimination game, or you're in the playoffs and it's an elimination game. You better be your best then.
There you go. Mike McDaniel.
What lie did he tell? Tell me the lie that he told in that whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds of rambling diatribe. And I always know it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds because every answer is 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yep, pretty much. Here's the lie that he told, okay? Not wanting to climax. First of all, it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Bye week's coming up.
Oh, it's an early climax.
You got time.
What are you talking about? It's an
You
early climax.
You got time to recover for round 2.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You got time.
Touche,
Yeah.
fair.
You got
your part.
You got time. You got time, dude.
Yeah.
You do. And the thing is with him, he's like, he wants to lay out all the narratives. It's like, yeah, but they're narratives because there's some facts behind it. And I'd like to see your team, which is amazing. It's been so much fun. And I'll give them credit. This team, when they take on a team that's not near them, they take care of business and then some. They smoke the bad teams. They don't
Also at home.
Yeah, they dominate at home. But we'd like to see when it's a little bit different, when it's a different type of a different type of atmosphere, when you got some things that are challenging, can they come back, or can they go and dictate against a good team? Because it always feels like when they take on a good team, they're always letting that team punch first, and they're always having to swim upstream against them. So yeah, I think there are some things. There are some things that they got to prove. There are some things that they got to prove in this game, and it is going to matter.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. They do have things to prove. Tua hasn't won a big game when it mattered the most. And oddly enough, I'm not going to put this there as a qualifier because this one doesn't matter the most right now, right at this very minute, right now. It's not going to matter as much as Dallas. It's not going to matter as much as Baltimore. It's not going to matter as much as Buffalo. At the end of the season, in these elimination games, as Mike McDaniel tells you, when you're fighting for seeding, you're fighting for home field advantage, you're fighting for the AFC East, you're fighting for the playoff hosting teams in the playoffs. That's when it matters. And what Mike is telling you is he wants to climax at the right time.
Stop it, though, Omar. First of all, when do we overanalyze our climaxes? Hey, you get a chance at climax, you climax, right? Like, what the hell is going on here? Today,
that's what men who don't please women say.
Correct? Yes. You just nailed me. Correct. Like, we got a chance at climax today.
What, you gotta hold off, brother.
No, you climax. Wrong. Of course. Today, you get the chance to beat the Chiefs, but Omar, you're wrong, because today this would be a statement win for Tua.
Without
it
a
would
doubt.
Be.
It would be a statement
would be.
win.
Even I get it.
It sends a warning shot to the rest of the league, and then it puts you in the hunted category.
Not only that, you by saying that this game doesn't matter as much as the games later on in the season, I get it. Like, I understand, but you get an opportunity here to go up against the defending champs, plus Tyreek's former team, plus Tua Tagovailoa going and beating arguably the greatest quarterback ever, or at least he's going to be in the conversation for it. He's going to be in the conversation for it.
He's got to do another half of what he's already started.
He's going to be in the conversation for it. If his career ended today, he'd be in the conversation.
Well, he's bar none the best quarterback in the league right now. With credentials and pedigree and all that stuff. And
this game matters, man.
It does. And
it does.
I didn't say it doesn't matter, but is it an elimination game? Like Mike McDaniel tells you.
but it's week 9.
There's signature games though. There are games that you're going to look back. We're not going to look back at them coming back 2 touchdowns down against the Carolina Panthers. We're just not. Like, it's great that they were able to do it, but there are things that are just going to be like, okay, how are we going to know whether or not this team is ready to take those next steps that he keeps talking about?
All right.
And until you do that against a team of this caliber, we're not going to know. Maybe they will. I mean, it's possible. If you go out and you beat all the bad teams that are left on your schedule as opposed to the good teams, you're going to end up with, if you, what do they have? 4 winning record games after this. So if you just took care of business against the teams you'll end up with a better record if you just beat the good teams. But to know whether or not they're really going to do anything when it comes to the elimination time, yeah, you'd like to have one in your back pocket, be like, we took them out.
Mm-hmm.
We took them out.
It's going to be a boost for the confidence. It will be boosting their confidence. I mean, they really, really.
It doesn't matter for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have done it.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter for them. Like, people will start doing the dumb, should we write off the Chiefs after? No, they've done it. You haven't. There are things when you're becoming a contender that show, are you ready to take those next steps? It's not a necessity, but like, you want to check those boxes and be like, all right, see, we didn't do it the week 4, or we didn't do it week 3. We didn't do it on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles, but now all that talking about we were building into something, now we're showing where the buildup is. We're getting linemen back. We're getting our secondary back. Tua and Tyreek are playing better than anybody in the league together right now. That's why it matters. That's where, like, yeah, he's right. We could just simplify it to, people will talk about the hype, or we'll talk about we can't be good teams. It's like, yeah, but one of them is going to reflect more truly than the other.
Touche. I can't say anything else. You win.
That being said, I mean, a great answer by him. He's a great arguer.
It is 1 of 17.
It's what he has to say. Like, the coach can't come out here before a game like this, especially when you're 0-2 against the only 2 good teams you've played, and say, yeah, this one matters. Like, we have to win this one. Week 9, like, you can't do that.
I love the idea that the guy does put in, he is true to his word that he's week to week. You know, he was as fired up that they were able to sweep the Patriots last week as he was to any other game because
Come
he's like,
back
there's
against Giants,
Yeah.
or
But
take care of
every
business.
coach is like,
Come back against Carolina, take care of business against Giants.
Tobin, every coach has that mentality. Like every coach.
No.
What? Yes.
No.
Yes.
no, they don't.
They do. Like all the best coaches will react the same to winning a week 3 game.
Yeah, you're right. All the best coaches will, not all the
Yeah.
coaches. You know, if you're Josh McDaniels, you don't act like that. That's why
Well,
you get fired.
That's
every
why you
year.
don't have a job and
That's
he's
why
not
you
a
get
coach
fired every
anymore.
morning.
Yeah.
That's how that works. But this one, it has, yeah, you could put it as a narrative bowl if you want, but there's a lot of narratives. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. When Tyreek Hill's taking on his former club, when you're taking on the Super Bowl champs, there's a lot that comes. And you know what? It's a good dry run for Super Bowl hype and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's good to deal with all that. It's good it's happening right before they're going to be on Hard Knocks and deal with all that extra noise.
Forgot about that. I keep forgetting about Hard Knocks.
It's coming, baby.
Listen, I love that Mike McDaniel also said, okay, why are you here so early? Why was that important to you? And he said, if you're gonna have success in the Super Bowl, you've got to make sure that your process works somewhere else remotely. And this is a dry run of that.
Absolutely.
Everything is about February, bro.
Absolutely.
Everything is about February. They're locked in. They're loaded. They know they're a good team. I think we underestimate Jaylen Phillips' return. I think we underestimate, Connor Williams' return, because I argued Connor Williams is the second best offensive lineman behind Teron Armstead, which I know we've only seen for a game and a half, but it was a magical game and a half.
I have a question. When you're a glass chewer, is that only on defense, or can offensive linemen chew glass? Because he looks like a glass chewer, Connor Williams. He just looks mean.
I don't know what a glass chewer is.
Just like
just gnarly
construction
dude.
worker,
Like Zach Sealer's. He's a glass chewer.
Your hands are just like tough,
No,
rugged.
That's not Connor. Connor has a softness to
Does
him.
he? He doesn't look soft. He looks.
Nah, Connor.
Is he like poetry or something like that?
Yeah, Connor looks like
Wow.
a Renaissance.
He's like a
man.
fancy man.
Yeah, he's fancy.
Looks like he always ready.
He's got a little fancy to him. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of fancy, have you guys seen Jaylen Phillips dressed like a Peaky Blinder?
Are you sure there's Jaylen? What is a Peaky Blinder? Number one.
Peaky Blinders.
Show,
It's a show on Netflix, and they all dress in those little caps because they would keep the blades in their caps with the vest, and they would run the docks in New York.
Yeah, like it's like 1920s fashion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Which? Oh yeah. Okay, I did see Jaylen Phillips. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you were thinking about Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, I thought that was just a very professional looking old school suit.
He does. He looks like Europe.
Yeah, he does look like
He
Europe.
looks like Europe.
He's
We'll take a quick break here on the show. More to get to. Game Day Uncensored. We are streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Miami 560 WQAM. Back after this.
Hey, want to see the ugly mugs that go along with our melodious voices?
Do I have to worry about this?
We are on YouTube.
That's great that you're doing that.
All kinds of videos of your favorite host.
Tobin, Solana, Omar. The pregame show for real Miami football fans. On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Gameday Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Ed Morse Sawgrass Buick GMC is a proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. Remember, you're always backed by Morse. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
Welcome back in, everybody. It is Game Day Uncensored here, 560 WQAM, as we take you up until about 9:30. Dolphins Chiefs, week 9 of the NFL season. Your Dolphins get first ups. International game from Frankfurt, Germany today. Let's go. Dolphins have been there all week and been taking in some sights, have been getting in some work,
Getting a little schnitzel.
getting some schnitzel, getting healthier. You know, you get Teron Armstead back this week. Very exciting. I got to be honest with you. I thought he was going to be longer. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy.
You think he's soft, huh? You think he's made of glass?
No, I don't think he's soft.
Yeah,
when
you're one of those Dolphin fans.
When he said I knew when they signed Teron Armstead, I'm like, oh, all right. I know what I'm signing up for. When he said last year I should have been out week 1 the whole year, I was like, oh, damn. No, I clearly know that.
Thank you. Put some respect on his damn name,
no,
Dolphin fans.
I'm not disrespecting.
I'm
Teron
promising
Armstead.
you right now, even if he's at 70%, Teron's going to be out there mowing people down.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. I am excited. I
You
can't.
should be.
I'm excited to get him back. I'm excited to see what this what Fangs and his defense can do against a hell of a test in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you guys missed this in my alldolphins.com comment column.
What'd you write?
I apologize to Fangs.
Whoa!
I admitted I was disrespectful,
Really?
premature, impatient. I didn't believe. I didn't understand the genius that is Fangs, and all it required was some buy-in and some trust and a little bit of, faith, because he is the greatest defensive coordinator that this game has seen, and all you had to do was just buy in and believe.
But I'm not disagreeing with you.
Here it goes.
No, I'm just saying you came to that conclusion after beating McCorkle.
Okay, hear me out. Okay,
no, and again, I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm guilty of it as well. The impatience.
I'm speaking on behalf of all Dolphins fans, primarily the South Floridians, where all we know is aggressive defense.
Yeah,
we don't like that passive bull crap. Okay, when the University of Miami did it, we say get that out of here, right?
Yeah,
that's not our style of football. And what I am saying is, I looked at it versus the Eagles, where players are finally starting to buy in, even though they allowed 31 points against the Eagles. That was a phenomenal defensive performance from my perspective. How you harassed the quarterback, how you contained, obviously you could, if they didn't have the tush push, would have been a phenomenal defensive performance.
Well, the defense kept that team in the game. Dolphins offense really scored 1 touchdown that game, right?
Yes.
You have that right? They scored 1 touchdown that game. Defense kept them in that game.
So
also the tush push is cheating.
It's not, but I hear where you're coming from. I mean, when your quarterback can squat 650 pounds, it won't be cheating, right?
Is it going to be legal next year?
Depends on how the divisions vote on that. But yeah, not everybody can do the tush push.
It was annoying though. Following week, you saw they fumbled on a tush push at the goal line.
They didn't?
The Eagles, yeah, like it didn't work for them. I don't remember who they were playing.
Now it's not going to be illegal,
but
it doesn't work all the time.
It was annoying to see that.
Maybe they took a dive on the tush push.
Yeah, I think they took a dive on the tush push. Did they need it, or was it just like let's throw it on a pile?
I think they were playing the Commanders. It didn't work for them.
Dolphins, by the way, are 4th in sacks. So even for like the way that Fangs is doing his temper thing, they are getting after the quarterback at a really
aggressive. The linebackers are playing better. David Long is no longer a disaster. He's probably one of the top linebackers in the game right now. Top tackler on the team. He's been in Fangs' doghouse all season.
He has been, but I'll say, I'm always curious when guys when you lose, when you get a new guy in, I'm always curious to see what the other fan base's reaction. And a lot of Titans fans were not happy to lose him. Now he was hurt a lot too.
Yeah.
He was also had some durability issues, but you can see like he can make some very aggressive. He is an explosive player. It's just a matter, I guess, of Fang's reining him in when he has to.
He's an instinctive player. The problem that they had was that he shot the gaps too infrequently and wasn't doing his assignments and responsibilities. It was always, let me shoot that gap. Okay, well, sometimes you're wrong. And in Fang's defense, you can't be wrong, which is why Fang's had that trust issue. Then we get to the secondary. Jaylen Ramsey. I'd never really felt comfortable with what I'd seen from the secondary, but let me explain why. Because I'd never seen a player who knew how to play it properly. Jaylen Ramsey, when you watch that coach's film and you saw how he played Fang's secondary, and Mike McDaniel talked about it the week previously. He's like, Jaylen's the most versed guy in the secondary, so he knows what it's supposed to look like. He knows the tendencies. And watching him, remember when I told you, I came here and I told you guys, the back pedal doesn't look right. Okay, It doesn't look right. It doesn't look normal. Well, that's because Jaylen doesn't backpedal in this defense. He side pedals. It's the weirdest thing to look at, but it's effective and led to him breaking on that ball from McCorkle and intercepting it.
He completely deked him.
Yeah. I mean, he sidesteps on defense, keeping his eye on the quarterback, and it still gives him the full range of motion, whereas most cornerbacks backpedal. I'm like, oh, okay. This is interesting. It's unique, but it works. And they got turnovers that last game. Now, the question is, can that carry over and can they continue to build? But right now, you've got players seeing what you started from the bottom. Now they're here, 15th in the NFL.
There's nothing tougher to come back from when you're a highly paid individual and you have a really stinker first performance like they did against the Chargers. But things have been like they have been going in a very, very good direction for a while now for them. And now that they're getting all their bodies back, you could see, I mean, look, just hear his attitude last week. The dude has been a curmudgeon the entire time he's been the defensive coordinator. And as soon as he knew he was getting Jaylen Ramsey back, his attitude changed. He was happy. Happy Fangs.
Well, we weren't sure. Well, we weren't sure, after this much time in South Florida, did dude find himself a little lady friend, or was it just Jaylen Ramsey? And I think you're right.
Maybe
Tobin.
both, but I think mostly Jaylen Ramsey.
Yeah, I think it's Jaylen Ramsey coming back. By the way, you mentioned turnover, sacks. Like this Mahomes throws quite a few interceptions, right? Like against the Broncos, is throwing picks. Like he's known take chances and to give the ball away. So I want to see that continue into today, Omar. To answer your question, like I want to see the Dolphins defense be able to make those types of impact plays today. And with all their bodies back, they should be able to. As good as Kelce is, as good as Mahomes to Kelce is, I get it. But there are going to be opportunities to create turnovers and put your offense in better position.
Here is Jaylen Phillips. Jaylen Phillips going to be our player to watch here. And player to watch is brought to us by our South Florida Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. JP talking about the huge challenge of getting after Patrick Mahomes. Here is Jaylen Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, obviously sometimes he looks like a magician, some of the things he does. But at the end of the day, you just have to be disciplined in your rush, I think is the biggest thing when it comes to for edges, at least, keeping contained, not letting him roll out to the pocket on the inside, not getting too wide so that he has to step up through the middle. And then obviously when he does start to get off schedule and scramble around and look to throw, you just got to keep going after him. So like you said, it can definitely be very frustrating because, you can rush, win, do everything perfectly, and he gets the ball off. Or you could be running around, he's running around for 5-6 seconds, and he makes some crazy throw to, Travis Kelce down the field. So, I think we have to expect that to happen and know that that's going to happen a few times during the game, but not let it discourage us. And, we just got to keep rushing no matter what happens.
Oh, you were going pointing at me? I thought you were raising your finger to wanted to talk, Solana.
I that was terrible by me, but inactives are out. Yeah.
We had a silent count mess up there. All right, we will. There you go, Jaylen Phillips on Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he's very awesome. We will get into actives, inactives for your Miami Dolphins coming on up and see who is good to go here in Frankfurt. False start, 5-yard penalty, replay first down. Back with Gameday Uncensored right after this.
Text WQAM on the Kendall Toy and Williamson Automotive.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Game Day, Uncensored here on 560 WQAM. Miami Dolphins, Week 9 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Bright and early for you Dolphin fans out there.
Have it with your toast and beans. Have you ever eaten baked beans for breakfast? It's a European thing.
Definitely not, dude.
I have.
You have? Okay.
I've done for Cane's tailgates, kegs and eggs, baked beans. You make yourself a little breakfast burger out there.
It's funny because
Great, man.
I'm Jamaican, and Jamaica has British roots. So I grew up, and beans for breakfast was like a normal thing. Sometimes I'd even make it for myself. And then I realized, like, hey, Americans don't eat these for breakfast. I don't view beans as like something that goes with a barbecue. I think of beans as, beans go with breakfast and toast. And then I realized, like, oh, that's a British thing that just somehow just
Made its way.
Huh? Yeah.
It's made its way, dude. No, I don't know. I'm not privy to beans for breakfast. I gotta be, but I'm going to get some breakfast food for this game. I cannot wait. Also excited that I don't have to have this crossover with flag football today, which is nice.
Yeah.
I felt bad watching them kick McCorkle's ass while I should have been watching my son.
I mean, did you ever miss any of your son's plays? Let's be honest here. And then lie about it to him.
I missed one, but I saw him cheering afterwards when he had the ball, and I'm like, attaboy.
Did you feel guilt?
My son.
Did you feel guilt?
No, I'm there. I felt, I've sat through many a jiu-jitsu class. I've sat through many a game. I'm sorry. It's just I didn't make the league stupid times. That's what it is. I gotta see the game.
Tobin's out there, man. He's phone in hand watching the Dolphins, but he's out there.
Everybody, by the way, I'm not the only one. There's all the dads are watching the Dolphins game. None of us are. It's a bad time. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I finally got 2 straight weeks where I'm good. I got this game, and then next week's the bye, so I'm good. I think there's only one game left on the season when they play the Raiders, and the good thing has been it's been against bad teams.
Yeah.
So they've had these games pretty. I'm like, McCorkle.
See,
easy.
And it's a whole generation of flag football young men. Tell me the weight or age group that this is.
7, 8.
That are experiencing trauma because their fathers aren't giving them the attention that they deserve.
We know it's funny that this league does a funny thing where you have to be really far away from the field. I guess they're trying to take away helicopter parents or whatever.
Okay.
So I have to watch. So it's on a high school field, but they're all it's 4 fields on the high school field. But you have to watch from the bleachers.
Oh, you got to watch from the bleachers. Okay, so you can fake it.
Exactly, dude.
All right.
Exactly, dude. Let us get to our actives. Inactives brought to us by JM Lexus. When it comes to loyal fans, it's JM Lexus with a 4.8 Google rating and over 13,000 reviews. JM Lexus, West Sample Road in Margate. Solana, what do we got, man? Who's on the actives and actives list?
All right.
Any surprises? There's only one guy we were worried about maybe coming into today, and he's been a cornerback for the Dolphins for a long time.
Yeah.
Very good at picking off the football. Will we finally get the debut today of Jaylen Ramsey with Xavien Howard?
Guys, saddle up, buckle up, whatever the hell you want to use. No Xavien Howard on the inactives list, baby. 25 and 5 will be out there.
So that adds up to 30.
That's exciting.
Boom.
Goosies galore. I'm going to use your word.
That's Goosies galore, dude. You're not kidding, Omar.
This is the Hawkin crowd.
Yes, I did it. What? No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Give me it's PTSD for me right there. Wait, what?
Listen,
it is Goosies though. I cannot wait to see what this tandem does together. I'm very, very excited.
Xavien's rested. He's got the bye week after this. Hopefully that growing. I could tell you probably not going to be 100%, but it's going to be better than it would have been if he would have played on it right now.
Yeah.
This is a different approach that Mike McDaniel's taking to this season. Xavien's not going out there playing on 2 bad growings, and we will see if it benefits them in the long run for February, as this team ridiculously continues to talk about.
But I do think it gives you a little eye opener at what the Dolphins truly believe or feel about this game. They care about this one. All the stuff McDaniel said that Tobin took issue with, he could say whatever he wants, but the players genuinely care about this game because they're going to tough it out a little bit in a Week 9 game. Like you keep saying, really shouldn't matter because it's 1 of 17 or whatever. They care. They want to win this damn game.
While it is not a must win, I will acknowledge that it does have postseason ramifications because ultimately, if you lose this game, more than likely, you're going to have to beat Kansas City in Kansas City.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get that head-to-head.
And do you want that? Now, if you don't, then you got to do your best, put out your best, and win this game to give yourself a chance to host all of the AFC.
Especially with how good they are at home. Like, how could you not be wanting to gun for that?
Because I would argue, too, I think they can beat any team at home. And because they have so many built-in advantages at home, not even factoring the crowd, it's the heat. I've said this to you guys for weeks and weeks and weeks. These cheat motions that they have with Tua and Tyreek, they do not look the same on the road. They are not as fluid on the road because they have to do silent counts and the communication. And when silent counts, you don't hear the quarterback say hike or snap the ball. And what Tua does when he's at home is those Tyreek motions, the ball is snapped when Tyreek is at the exact spot and he's running full speed.
Yeah.
It does not happen on the road.
It's genius too, right? What he did, like line him up as a fullback and let him. It's genius. But Omar, to your point about having home field, not only that, there is an opportunity today that the Dolphins claim #1 overall seed by beating the defending Super Bowl champions, improve to 7-2.
Yep.
Have the #1 overall seed in the AFC, and the Bills, who are 5-3, have some dreadful losses this year, are at the Cincinnati Bengals,
for Sunday Night Football. Yep,
which is a tough place for them
right now.
Bengals are rolling because Burrow, your boy, will lose the first 3 games, but then they kick it into gear.
He's hot. Right now.
There's a good chance the Dolphins will be 7-2 with the #1 overall seed in the conference, and the Bills will drop to 5-4.
I'd just like to tell Mike McDaniel, nice try. But you can't tell me there's not stakes on this game.
1 of 17.
It's a big one. No, it's not. This is not the same as the Raiders.
Hey,
in a couple
he
weeks.
said 1 of 17, and then there are elimination games.
Ridiculous,
brother. There are elimination games, and I never looked at them as elimination games. But December will be elimination games. They will. There'll be some couple in there.
Just to give you guys the inactives, the official list: Robbie Chosen inactive, Kelvin Joseph inactive, Brandon Jones we know is in concussion protocol, is still in South Florida, and Robert Hunt. So no surprises.
That sucks. So like. Obviously, you want Robert Hunt out there, but just in general, I love Robert Hunt.
Yeah.
Like I love Robert Hunt.
He's my favorite guy in the locker room.
He's literally like he's like of all the turnover there's been on that line, that guy's been steady.
Yeah. You realize he's never missed an NFL game. This is his
that
first
sounds about
game.
right.
This is the first game he's ever going to miss.
Dude just mauls people and then will score illegal touchdowns. How do you not love him?
And right now, Robert Jones and Lester Cotton, they're going to be out there. I'm not going to say they're going to be slaughtered because I think these are 2 young players who have the opportunity to prove in this game we belong in the NFL. And I know Lester Cotton takes it very seriously. Robert Jones is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. These are big prove-it games. And I could tell you, it's not going to be Liam Eichenberg. He didn't even do that for radio. It's not going to be Liam Eichenberg. I think they've come to the conclusion you're not a guard. You're not a guard. You're not a tackle. Maybe you're center.
Who do you think is getting the bigger boost today? Do you think it's the secondary or do you think it's the O-line? Getting back Connor Williams and Tehran or getting back Javon and Xavien Howard?
Oh, you hit me in a hard spot. My underbelly. I'm going to have to say the offensive line. As much as I love Kendall Lamb and what he's been able to do and the stability that he's provided. And I asked him,
He's been great.
I asked him, by the way, could you move inside to guard? And what I loved was his transparency. And he said, no. And here's why. He says, I know who you'll never meet a more honest player. Like truly. He's like, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I'm a tackle. I'm a really good left tackle. I'm an average right tackle. And if you put me inside a guard, even at left guard, those twists and stunts would kill me.
I like that though.
Yeah. And he said they asked him. Butch Barry asked him. And he said, I'd love to tell you that I could do that. He said, but I know myself. He said, Lester's got it. And I'm like, brother, like I love you because how many players would be 8 years into their career an undrafted guy, killing it as a starting left tackle, and then your team comes to you and says, you know what? We need you to possibly play left guard because you've been doing so well. And you say to them, I know you need me, but my teammate would be a better would be a better player.
Yeah, that's rare because you would think like you're going to want to start at all
You're
costs.
going to want that. You're going to be Who isn't going to be selfish in that situation?
True.
And I was just like, you are like a godsend to football, because I don't think I've ever come across a player like him, Kendall Lamb, in terms of just the candidness and the honesty. Like, bro plans to retire, like maybe after this season, and not own a barber shop, just go to barber school. Just go to barber school. And he's like, I've played long enough. All I want to do is prove that I could play in this league. I've done that. If nobody calls, I'm just going to go to barber school. Not own a barber shop. Go to barber school and work in one of his friends' shops.
It's a lovely plan.
And I'm just like,
I don't know. If I'm McDaniel, I'll call him up for next year.
Oh yeah, no question.
Dude's been steady, man. He's been steady.
Returning on the secondary is going to be Xavien Howard. We finally get to see the debut of him and Jaylen Ramsey. Here is X earlier in the week talking about he is hyped to play with number 5.
Man, we always speak about it, man. And since he got here, before he was here and he wanted to come here, we reached out, we was talking and stuff like that. Now he's here. Now we're able to play together this week. So, I'm excited about everything. Also, Nick coming back, with Nick back. So, we all ready to play together and get this defense rolling.
It's going to be a fun thing. And that was like the first, when they signed Jaylen Ramsey, like the welcome videos was like, X giving him the tour of the facility.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really
They went
cool
to the Heat game together. You didn't even mention
that's right. That's right.
Hey, listen. And then I was actually invited to dinner after the Heat game. I just couldn't make it. It was at Prime 112. Because I was at that Heat game too, and we hit each other up. And he's like, "Yeah, come out, roll to Prime." I was there with my family, so I couldn't, meet Jaylen in that kind of affair.
I would have paid for the Uber for the old fam.
Ditch the fam. Yeah.
Later,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get myself a filet mignon at Prime.
But what was I going to tell you? You might be right. We might be going without Eli Apple. And Xavien just hinted that to me with Nick Needham's possible return. I don't know if Vic trusts him yet, because Vic's got trust issues, as do I. My trust issues are very valid. So are Nick's. You can't trust everybody. So are Vic's. But Nick could potentially be on that boundary, and maybe he doesn't have any familiarity with Vic Fangio's scheme, but maybe if he's earned Vic's trust, he could be out there with the starters. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to say there's a possibility you might be Eli Apple-less.
Here is Javon Holland, who is also coming back, and he also cannot wait to play with Jaylen.
Yeah, we can do a lot more. These Rams adds a huge veteran just aspect to the defense. Me, myself, for other younger guys, I want to learn X as well, having them back. So having 2 veterans, back playing with us is huge. And it really helps us out, and it just makes the game a lot more fun.
That is great news this week. He is out of concussion protocol, so we will get the snowman.
He probably was out of concussion protocol last week, and Mike McDaniel was just like, nah,
extra safe.
We're good. Extra safe.
Do you think I'm really surprised here by the way that the line has moved? So Chiefs when this opened, 5.5 point favorites, but it was really like 2.5.
Yeah, I saw the 2.5 this week, and I saw it was 1.5.
It opened at 5?
It opened at 5.5, but whatever. It was really like 2.5, 3. That's where it's been. It's down to 1 this morning.
Wow.
1 point favorite, Kansas City. First of all, I think it speaks to maybe people don't assume the Dolphins are as fraudulent as we think the narratives are out there, but also all these people coming back. Dolphins 1 point dog versus the defending Super Bowl champion. That says something
in
to me,
a neutral
man.
field.
Yeah, but so what?
I said from the very beginning of this week, after I looked at the matchup and I looked at how Chris Jones was played, because I'm really not worried about Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce's going to do what he does.
Oof, I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes.
Hold
on,
I
bro.
would clip that up right there.
He's Patrick Mahomes.
I'm always worried about
what I'm saying is, I'm not worried he's going to have like a 400-yard game. you know if you give him the ball at the end of the game, you're toast. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. I know what he's going to do. I know Travis Kelce is going to be a freak of nature, especially if Taylor Swift is there. Okay. We haven't checked her plane.
I don't think she's going to be there because she's in Argentina for a tour.
I got to check her plane. Her plane isn't in Argentina yet. Let me check her plane. I'll tell you.
Doxing Taylor Swift?
You're tracking this like we checked Jim Harbaugh back in the day?
Listen, they're Swifties who do it.
Yeah.
So I'm following them.
That's cool.
Okay.
I'm with it. Let's go.
Listen, but the guy I'm worried about is Chris Jones. And then when I saw how he's utilized, he's everywhere on the defensive line. Well, I know I ain't got to worry about 3 spots. And I know the other 2 spots, wherever Chris Jones goes, in those inside spots, Connor Williams goes. So that means I just got to worry about a blitzer. And then if you have blitzers, there's my janitors, the cleanup men, as I call them, which is Durham Smythe and Alec Ingold. Yes, both of them are hurt, but the janitors, they clean up everything. So I ain't got to worry about blitzers. And we know Tua's got that pocket presence. So I felt confident if Teron played, if Connor Williams played, if X played, Dolphins would win.
By the way, I'm just hypnotized right now. I'm watching Tyreek Hill just catch a football, no look, behind his back. Look at this guy. Crazy.
He's showing us what I love about Tyreek is he basically cut his hair. It's like a throwback Tyreek. He cut his
my
wow.
God. Is that the greatest catch ever?
That guy's good. Tyreek just caught a ball behind his back in warmups. I'm sure he's practiced that only 1,000 times.
What do you think the Chiefs game plan for this and say we can't let Tyreek Hill beat us? Like, because
good luck.
I wonder how their defense approaches this. Is it we know Tua's going to get the ball out quick, so sacks aren't going to be.
I've actually heard their defense. Address defending Tyreek Hill. It's we got to stop the run, which will give us a chance to lock up Tyreek.
Yeah,
and let everybody else beat us. So key is stop the run, get them into difficult third down situations, and then lock up Tyreek. So
we'll take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Back with more after this.
You're listening to the exclusive home of
WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It is Game Day, Uncensored here on 560 WQAM. Getting you ready for Dolphins and Chiefs. 9:30 kickoff from Frankfurt.
We're 45 minutes away, gentlemen.
Oh, man, this is exciting.
Crazy.
Exciting.
At what time do you think Tyreek gives that pep talk?
I'm not sure, man.
Locker room, or is it on field?
I think it's got to be on field. It's got to be on field.
True, he does like the cameras.
Of course. And why shouldn't he?
Well, why else do it, right? If there aren't cameras around.
Exactly. You got to show out there for a little bit, catching passes back behind your back, all that stuff. Solana, let's get a fantasy watch here, brought to us by friends over at Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. What do we got to watch out for here, Solana? A lot of big-time fantasy players in this game. Who do you like?
A lot of big-time fantasy players. Here's a list of guys I like. How about Tyreek Hill going up against his former team?
He's good.
Raheem Mostert. Pretty good running back.
12 touchdowns.
How do you guys feel about this, though? I got Travis Kelce in, all my leagues.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do today? This is tough.
Sit him.
I sit him? I bench him?
Sit him.
Depends on if
have some guts.
One, you can't, factor in the
you're
fandom
like
to it with your fantasy team. You gotta extract the fan out of your fantasy team. Come on, you gotta play Travis Kelce.
Nah, you sit him. You
can't
be like one of these people.
You too now? It's a fan disease going around here.
You gotta go out there. You gotta sit him. You gotta have the gut. You can't be one of these people that has heart insurance, like you bet against your own team, so you're a winner either way.
So
you gotta sit him.
So I can't hope for the Travis Kelce 2-touchdown performance, but Dolphins win anyways. Is what you're saying?
Sit him.
Okay.
That sounds like a loss to me.
I'm not sitting him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Even if he's defended by Jaylen Ramsey, I found some video because everything is on YouTube, including the All Dolphins podcast. And Tobin, what's your podcast as well?
Tobin and Leroy.
I thought you still do a solo podcast.
Oh, you're talking about on YouTube?
Yeah.
Just riff on YouTube. You guys can see that. It's not really a podcast. It's
promote it, sir.
Don't say you just riff on YouTube. I love Tobin on YouTube,
but it's not a podcast. It's literally just like me. What I think for 15 minutes.
It's just his takes.
It's just takes.
Yeah, Tobin takes.
It's
on
the
YouTube.
Tobin warm up. Well, tell the people what it is.
It's Tobin on YouTube. Everybody it's easy. Everybody finds it.
All right. Okay.
I don't promote that at all though. People it's an algorithm.
I enjoy it.
Thanks, man.
I apologize.
I appreciate that.
I've stolen plenty of things from it.
You have?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But what were we talking about?
We were talking about how Solana doesn't have the guts to sit Travis Kelce because he's a terrible Dolphin fan.
What I found on YouTube is old video of Jaylen Ramsey defending Travis Kelce one-on-one in the star position, just abandoning his cornerback spot and following Travis Kelce all over the field.
Can you send me that?
Yeah, I can. You'll like it because I think he scored a touchdown. Jaylen had some wins, but there were a lot of losses.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's Travis Kelce. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But what I want is first ballot Hall of Famer versus future Hall of Famer, which is Jaylen Ramsey. If he stays on course and has the career that he's been having, let's say for 3 more years, Jaylen Ramsey will be in the Hall of Fame.
He might already be there. He's that good. He's that good. He's that good. He's that good.
He's got less numbers than
numbers.
Okay, Xavien Howard.
Xavien Howard's great. I'm not who's saying Xavien Howard can't be in the Hall of Fame too. I'm not trying to kick anybody out.
He's got the ring. He's done it with 3 different franchises. I know I'm maybe putting the cart in front of the horse, but he's going to do it with the Dolphins.
We already have him picking off McCorkle. We know what's happening.
Yeah. So
it's the first domino.
I think he's solidified himself.
What?
As a Hall of Famer, hasn't he?
I don't think so, but I mean that's up for discussion and debate.
Okay. We can revisit. We can revisit.
But and the video showed a lot of losses. Yeah. Showed some wins, and which is why you would do it because you don't just want a steady diet of losses against Travis Kelce. The problem with Travis Kelce is that he's out there running option routes. He's a tight end that just runs option routes and then just wiggle waggles till he's free and drops into open zones. Well, what do the Dolphins play? They play zone, correct? So all he's going to do is just wiggle waggle and drop into open zones, and then his quarterback's going to find him. You can't defend that.
No, he's an ultimate, and then his quarterback is, all the razzle-dazzle we're excited with the Dolphins and how much they practice with them. And, like, Mahomes is, like, the OG of that stuff, and it feels like he just pulls it off, like, naturally. Like, he'll just come off, no look throw, boop, all behind my back, boom, shovel pass. It's like, it's really annoying.
He also throws, like, the greatest incomplete passes I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
He'll like I know that sounds it sounds like the dumbest statement.
No, he'll have like Jaylen Phillips like piggybacking him, and like somehow he'll be like this close, and Hardman will drop the ball.
Yeah. Like he throws passes that are incomplete, but you're just like, wow, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I like the scrambling around. I think that it's not like Josh Allen scrambling around. I'm improvising, I'm buying time, and it's not a and it becomes a broken play. But they're so good at the broken plays and everybody running the right route. It's like, oh, Mahomes scrambles left. These are our scramble left plays. Oh, Mahomes scrambles out of the pocket right. These are our scramble out the pocket plays. And it's like magic. And even Tyreek says, yeah, these are things that they show you how to do and script up on, when Mahomes. It's called Mahomes scrambles.
Do you think Fangs maybe hit up Tyreek and was like, hey, let's talk.
No, Tyreek had the genius breakdown this week. He goes, what do you need to do to stop the Chiefs? He goes, stop Travis Kelce. I'm like, genius. This guy, he's basically little Fangs.
Yeah, that's going to help him.
You have Tyreek Hill, Vlad, on why he was asked whether or not by media this week if he is the MVP, if he is having an MVP season. And Tyreek Hill, he did not want that crown from the Miami Dolphins. He doesn't believe he is worthy.
Hey, your stats this seasons are incredible. Do you think you have a chance to win the MVP award?
No, because we have a player that's on our team that's better than me. It means more to this team. So, no. And his name is Alec Ingold.
Troll. How do you like you can't and here's the thing, Tyreek, and this is a conversation just between us, okay? Tyreek knows he's an MVP candidate, but he also knows that I have to say I am not an MVP candidate. I don't want the votes. The votes must go to Tua. Okay,
gotta be fake humble.
He knows this is important to Tua.
I agree with him.
This gets Tua to the bag. I've already got the bag. I need to deliver the bag to my quarterback.
He also has no shot. He's not going to win the award. Like it's a quarterback award. It's kind of sucks because like
I don't know if you're right about that.
He's got no shot.
Adrian Peterson won it once.
Yards.
Adrian Peterson won it.
Wide receivers never won it.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they shouldn't.
I don't disagree with you. I'm saying he won't.
2,000 yards though.
Because we're having two different conversations. If you're saying should he, yes. Will he? No.
He won't because he's on the team with the guy who has the best odds of winning it, and he has to say, I'm not a candidate.
Yes.
For that guy to win it.
Because he's not a candidate.
He could be.
He should be.
No,
he's not.
He will be. He will be.
Yes, he will be, but he wants to not be.
You basically,
I don't know.
You're like the wacky third party in the presidential campaign.
Right. The independent.
You should have a better chance, but you don't.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to make some noise at the debate.
No, you don't want to make noise in the debate. You want to take yourself out of candidacy so that you're and endorse your other candidate so that he can win it.
Split votes? You
don't want to split votes. You want to say that I am not the MVP of the NFL because I'm not the MVP of the team. It's Alec Ingold.
Alec Ingold is, he's really good.
He is.
At what he does.
He's the janitor.
I like that.
No, he's not I get what you mean, but we got to figure out a better term for Alec Ingold because janitor seems
cleanup crew.
Yeah, but it seems
you're not loving my names.
Like you're diminishing his role.
What's wrong with the janitor?
When really
Tyler Hero's having an amazing season. You know what he called this offseason? Janitor hours, because he was up before everybody. What's wrong with Alec Ingold being a janitor?
Yeah. No, I like it.
Mopping dudes up.
I love Alec Ingold.
Bro.
But I don't love Tyreek saying that in the entire media room is just bursts out into laughter. Like, put a little more respect on Alec Ingold. I think Tyreek's being serious
I
there.
like too when Alec Ingold was asked about it, he goes, MVP of what? And then you just hear Tyreek in the background, speeches.
Oh my gosh, this team, they're so fun to
I
cover.
know. They
are.
seem like they got a lot of chemistry. The vibes are great. Now go beat the Chiefs. I don't want you vibe for 2 weeks.
They're gonna vibe for all season, baby, and take it to December with their elimination games.
Take a quick break. We will get to our final couple segments as we are leading up to kickoff. Dolphins and Chiefs in Germany. Apparently, Mike McDaniel brought to tears this week. We'll get to that coming up next.
You're listening to the exclusive home of Miami Hurricanes football, AM 560 Sports.
Tua.
Any opportunity for us to play a team that has been to the Super Bowl within the last couple of years or the last year and has won it, I think that's always a great challenge.
A lot has been said about Tyreek Hill going against his old team, but Chiefs coach Andy Reid gave us good old coach speak when asked about the cheetah.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he's a great player. You know, you might slow him down, but he was going to make plays somewhere. So, you know, that's what makes him the player he is. He has speed, quickness, and he's smart. No, he's pretty good.
Yeah, we know he's a good player, Coach. And we're glad he's on our team, not yours. And everyone's favorite Halloween costume, Coach McDaniel, says Tua and Tyreek, they're special.
Any game day, whatever they do is not the first time we've seen it. You know, you push all the other competitors on the team to better prepare so that, you know, on Sunday they can be themselves to go out and play football, which is what they've have an inordinate ability to do.
We're getting ready for the Finns and the Chiefs. Game Day Uncensored. Tobin, Solana, Omar. The pregame show for real Miami football fans. On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Game Day Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, Coach. Ed Morse Sawgrass Buick GMC is a proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. Remember, you're always backed by Morse. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Game Day Uncensored here. Final segment of the show as we are getting ready for Dolphins, Chiefs. Everybody get your brats and beers ready. Big time showdown in Frankfurt. Mike McDaniel. He got dressed. You know, one of my favorite things, I don't have time to play because we don't have a lot of time, but like him being speechless this week over people being dressing like him for Halloween. It's impossible not to root for this guy. It really is. I know I made fun of his narratives earlier because it's a ridiculous claim that that doesn't matter. But I really genuinely think, like, if you don't root for him, you're heartless. Because to see how he was moved by kids dressing like him for Halloween, I was like, that's so cool. He was flustered by it.
I believe it's genuine because even though his stardom has grown to a point where you could almost say, Coach Mike, like, you're a really intelligent dude. How could you not know how big you've become? It has to be hard to be, you know, a decade, maybe less removed from just being a random guy that had dreams of all this coming to fruition.
A ball boy.
Yep.
For the Denver Broncos.
But even when he's an assistant coach and he's just a guy, like,
remember his hardships too. This guy got fired.
Yeah.
Had to work his way back and playing, coaching in what, the USFL.
Yeah. It still has to be tough for him to digest that he is this guy now.
Nope.
Like he is. To me, it has to be, even though he it's still only a year and a half in.
Oh, there's Tua and hyped up. Was that pregame or was that old video?
I don't know. I think it's old video.
Whatever. It's
but here's the thing about Mike McDaniel, what makes him special, because I didn't buy into the genius. I didn't buy into, when he was initially hired, I wanted them to hire other coaches. I wanted them to pursue Doug Peterson. I wanted them to hire the Giants coach, Brian Daboll. Or I wanted him to just be in those conversations. They took not a sniff at Peterson, and I get it. Dan Marino played with him. He knows him. They know each other and how they hang on, hang in the circles. I get why Peterson doesn't make a fit here. Peterson's kind of a little bit of a pothead, man. So it doesn't make sense to bring him to Miami. But the fact that they interviewed Mike McDaniel, and they tried to go out there and pursue Sean Payton. And when that deal fell through, they were just like,
best
okay,
tampering ever.
That we got our guy. We got our guy. And I didn't like the fact that there were 9 other teams in the NFL that were hiring for head coaches. And you know how many of them spoke to Mike McDaniel? Zero. And this guy, in his first interview, one and done.
Yep.
And gets hired as the head coach. He comes out quirky as hell.
Yep.
Uncomfortable, rambling.
First thing we see of him is making a Mike Jones joke on the internet. We're like, this is your head coach.
Yeah. Nerdy, quirky, rambling.
Yep.
And it's not exactly the greatest first impression, but very relatable. And I think that's part of the cachet and the appeal to Mike McDaniel. Me and him, we have similar philosophies on style and similar motivations behind style. Like me and Solana, what were we talking about when we came in here? Bro, did you see that outfit? Because Solana, I can't tell this to Tobin, because Tobin would look at that clothing and he'd see.
I don't even know what
he'd see clothing. You understand what I'm saying? Tobin would look at that clothing, he'd see clothing. Me and you, Solana, we looked at that and we were like estimating how much the bag costs, how much the book bag costs. Oh, is he wearing off-whites or those white Yeezys? We know the watch, the Breitling.
Yeah.
We and the style is immaculate. People don't realize how stylish he is. But part of the reason, I asked him, like, why did you, he's like, this is something I picked up from when I was a young assistant, and I had to get what other players were having. So they'd be like, oh, you got those shoes? Oh, well, I was trying to get those shoes. And then he could be like, I can hook you up. When he was a young assistant,
smart,
in the game, and he loves style, and it just continued throughout. And he's like, I got money. I can do it. New pair of Yeezys every day.
Yeah.
I rarely have ever seen him repeat Yeezy. And the funny thing is, when I was a young reporter, and probably still do it to a little bit, I used to do that. Like when you have things that players want or things that they like as well, it makes a connection and a conversation, and it makes you relatable.
You assimilate yourself to that situation because it's only going to benefit you when dealing with players who also like those things.
Absolutely.
Well, this was a cool thing. Rich Eisen is on the call today for NFL Network, and they did a production meeting with Mike McDaniel. And this is a long rip, but this is just a little piece of it. This was him talking about how Mike McDaniel left them all very emotional. He got emotional. They were all a little teary-eyed talking about his love for Tua and getting that belief in Tua. Here is Rich Eisen of NFL Network.
He went on a soliloquy to talk about how he watched all the film about Tua, and he saw somebody throw 20 different out routes against significant coverage on film. And these are the types of throws that he said, make your heart go like this. And he pounded his chest. And he saw somebody that kept on throwing accurate footballs into windows that few players can. And he said that was one of the things that sold him on Tua, that he was an accurate thrower of the football. He was someone that could put the ball in certain windows. And he was somebody who also had absolutely zero fear in doing it. And also had a situation that he was overcoming where a lot of people said that he couldn't. And how his own mother, Mike McDaniel, in his upbringing, kept telling him how special he was, and how a parent telling a child how special he or she is something that is beyond powerful. And the belief that somebody has in them, placed in them by somebody who throws their arms around them, is a power that he knows as a coach he can deliver to every single one of his players, and felt that way about Tua from jump, and said that Tua needed that.
Oh, that's supreme, dude. I just love that.
You're special.
I love that. I love that.
I want you
man.
to know,
I love
Tobin, that you're special.
I love that, dude.
Solana, I want you to know that you're special.
Wow, you are special.
Goosies
I'll
galore.
let you know that. Oh, man. Boys, let's predict the game ball.
Let's
Brought
go.
to us by the powerful and capable Lexus GX, now with a 10.3-inch touchscreen. Expand your comfort zone. Experience amazing at your local Lexus dealer. Omar, who's getting the game ball today, man?
I'm going to go with Jaylen Waddle.
Ooh.
I think there's going to be a lot of attention played to Tyreek Hill. And I think Jaylen Waddle is going to have single coverage all game. Tua has been targeting him heavily for a month. He finally had a 100-yard contribution.
Awesome game
Last week. And I think that he is ready to carry the load and pick up the luggage that Tyreek cannot carry today.
Can we talk about for a second here, because we haven't talked about Jaylen, the Stephen Ross Waddle?
Oh, that's special.
My man, he gives the big old smooch, and that man, there's something going on with him. He is feeling feelings. Like it's a very sensual Waddle.
He's worked so hard and he cares so much. And I just wish Dolphin fan got to know who he was and how much he cares. And he wants this so bad.
Yeah.
Like if you told Stephen Ross, hey, Stephen, we need $20 more million so we can pick up these spare pieces, he'd be like, you sure you didn't need 25? Like, I'll do whatever. And that's how he is as owner.
I love that. That's going to be a thing now, though. Every time Waddle scores a touchdown, they're going to go to the box to see him do it, too.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Solana, who's getting the game ball, dude?
Gentlemen, I don't know if you're aware of this. People don't know that there are some gnarly waves in Germany over by the Baltic Sea.
Did not know.
I didn't know that.
I know. So I'm telling you right now, Raheem Mostert about to catch himself a damn wave today, baby. The surfer is going to catch some waves in Germany. I like Raheem Mostert today. All the attention is going to be on Tyreek and Waddle, as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Raheem, still no Devon Achane back. We know he can ball. And I think those underneath throws are going to be there for him out of the backfield. I think he today is going to have a massive, massive game. 2 touchdowns for my guy.
I'm going to go with Xavien Howard coming back in Frankfurt.
You're going defense.
Going defense. He's getting a pick 6 today.
I like it.
Pick 6 today for Xavien.
Like
they're going to be too scared to go to Jalen Ramsey. They're going to have to go to the ball hawk.
Are you really going to target Xavien Howard?
They're going to have to.
Patrick
No
Mahomes
choice.
is no amateur.
No choice.
He knows who's got more interceptions in his career.
There's a little thing I like to call Omar, pick your poison. And he's going to have to do that. He's going to try and do it against Xavien Howard. And that's going to be a mistake. And he's going to get picked off.
Those cornerbacks have 41 career interceptions together. 41.
I can't wait to see them together. I can't wait to see the secondary together. To think you've had to wait half the season for this all to come together, because it was great getting Jaylen back last week. And I think it's like you almost went as a Dolphin and almost like, oh yeah, they got Jalen Ramsey. And you saw a little sprinkle last week, but it's McCorkle, he's a dummy. And so now it's like you get to do it, and you get to do it against like the ultimate test. I know those wide receivers aren't very good. I mean, I think they lead the league in drops. They're a bunch of stone hands lately. Everybody's killing them. But still, that quarterback's amazing. And now you get a chance to just make an impression right away. I don't care what Mike McDaniel says. Big time statement game today.
And man, I've needed an X pick 6 for a while now. It's been 2 seasons that he doesn't have one, right?
It's all good. I'll just
going back to 2020 or 2021. Like, no, I need the touchdown, man. I need the X touchdown.
As I said earlier in the show, these matchups are good. They're very favorable. The only player that I really worry about is Chris Jones picking on Lester Cotton and Robert Jones. I think Connor Williams will be there to help. I'm really confident in what they're going to be able to accomplish in the run game with Teron Armstead being out there. And all you got to do to it is you just got to not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Now, I think the run game will be key and critical for this team's success, because this is one of those games where you got to shorten the game. You got to not have Patrick Mahomes find the ball in the final moment with the game on the line. Like if that happens, you might be in trouble. But I like Miami's chances to win. It's very strong.
All right, boys, we can't wait for this one. Thanks to everybody for tuning in today on Game Day Uncensored, and everybody who tuned in on the YouTube and Twitch. Go subscribe over there. You guys get notifications every time we go live. Thanks for everybody for joining the chat. We appreciate you guys. Solana wearing it. What is that? That's what jersey is that?
It's Germany, like
their national.
Their
national.
Tells the team. Tells the team.
No. Like
that's like
the
the
German
World,
national.
That's like the World Cup jersey.
Right. They rocked this in the World Cup. Yeah.
Dorschwitz.
Never thought I'd rock this. But
Frankfurter.
You knew
today,
you knew there'd be a day.
You knew
there'd be a day.
Today is the day of days, gentlemen.
All right, everybody. Enjoy your football this morning. And hopefully we will be celebrating for a couple of weeks here a great Dolphins victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. We will talk to you guys next time.
This has been the Week 9 edition of Game Day on